Trump and his lawyers were, I mean, they were basically children the whole time. And just to confirm that, here's the attorney Alina Habba, right? Afterwards, this is a Fox News watching her. This was during the lunch break. I think they were taking a court between the testimony. And you know what's funny? Her and Chris Kise, his attorneys, didn't cross-examine him at all. Because the damage is done. What? There's no point cross-examining him. You're just going to make it worse. So they just let him walk up the stand without. I mean, that's bad when your attorney doesn't cross-examine you and you're the person on trial. And because the only reason you get up on the stand is if A, you can prove that you're innocent, right? Or B, because you're losing the case so bad you've got nothing else to lose, which is what's going on here. But if you get up there and you testify because you're losing so bad, you get nothing else to lose, and your attorney just goes, yeah, no questions. You're fucked. Your attorney knows you're fucked. But this is her outside the court, and she was crying and whining because at one point she got up while Trump was going off, and the judge was telling him, Trump, you got to answer. It's a yes or no question. Answer the question. Right? And she got up and said, well, he's testifying. You got to listen to what he says. And the judge said, no, he's here to answer questions, not to just go off for 30 minutes. If you...
Right, like, this isn't like a one-man show, and this is a large monologue, and you're the audience, and it's your job just to sit and listen to the long-ass monologue. Like, that's not what this is, Like, I know theatrics is what he's used to, but that's not what this is, despite it looking a little like it sometimes.
Well, it's not a rally. And we basically explain that to her. It's not a rally. You can't just get up there and say whatever he wants to say. He has to answer questions. He's like, but when he tells her, but when it's your turn to cross-examine, you can let him go off for 30 minutes. He can attack me. He can do whatever he wants. I don't care. But for right now, while the district attorney's asking him questions, he needs to answer the questions, which he still didn't do. But he confessed. So what anybody else do you need? But this is Alina Habba bitching about the judge chastising her in court.
Oh yeah, this is the one that didn't check a box.
Yeah,
somewhere else.
They didn't check the box. Yep, she's such an idiot.
The president's team has stepped up to the microphone. They just walked outside of the courthouse. Let's step in here and listen.
Volume on this.
Coming from the judge who has already predetermined that my client committed fraud before we even walked into this courtroom.
Now, I want to qualify that too. The judge did make a ruling before the hearing started that they were guilty of the fraud, the Trump organization, right? But the reason the judge did that is because Alina Habba and Chris Kise, the defense, didn't offer a defense of that. There was no defense. Nobody said, no, they didn't commit fraud. It was all agreed upon. So the judge just said, well, then there's no point discussing whether or not they committed fraud because there's no defense. You didn't offer.
Right. There's nobody saying that didn't happen.
Right. You didn't offer a defense. So this whole thing with his attorneys is they're just putting on a show for Trump. They've lost. He's screwed. They're just trying to make it look like they're doing something at this point.
But do you think Trump knows? Do you think he knows, or is he like got his head up his own rear so much that he actually can't even tell? Well, I can't tell if I think he knows or doesn't.
I think he's certainly worried about it. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been there for this whole trial. He didn't have to be there, right, for the whole thing. But I think he's really worried about it. And I don't know that he knows. I think he does to a degree. And I think to a degree he wants to believe his own bullshit. Right? It's like, I think like, for example, I know I'm not a great actor and I'm not going to probably ever win a Tony in my lifetime. But I like to believe that it's possible. Right? So that's kind of the difference, right? I mean, that's where I think he's at. But listen to her. She's just such a like a 13-year-old in middle school about this shit.
I'm not here to hear what he has to say. then why exactly am I being paid as an attorney, and why exactly are taxpayer dollars being used in this courtroom?
That's a good question. Why are you being paid as an attorney? I don't know that she's even been paid or will get paid.
Because she looks like all the other women in his life. Like, doesn't she? She looks like his wife. She looks like his kids. Like,
oh, she has almost no trial experience, no court experience, which is she's shown in this case. She has no idea what she's doing. And what she's doing is she's bitching about the judge saying, no, he has to answer the DA's questions. Well, no, he should be able to say whatever he wants. Otherwise, what's the point? It's like, that's not the point of a trial. I don't know what fly-by-night law school you went to, babe, but...
University of Phoenix, she got it online.
Yeah, there you go.
Because Miss James wants to stand right here like she did this morning and call my client a liar, call the company fraudulent, and make a name for herself.
She never did that, by the way.
She said this morning that the numbers don't lie, and they won't lie in this case. Well, Miss James, I have a message for you. The numbers didn't lie when you ran for governor, and that's why you dropped out. And the numbers don't lie when President Trump runs for office in 2024. And those numbers are loud and clear. This country is falling apart. And
that's a wait till Trump becomes president and then you're going to get yours, bitch. That's what that is. This is such a fucking whiny teenager thing.
If we don't stop corruption in courtrooms where attorneys are gagged, where attorneys are not allowed to say what they...
A political speech.
Yeah.
Instead of a commentary about what's happening in the courtroom.
Right. So this is the game that's being played, right? On the one hand, you have what actually occurred. Trump admitted to it. He fucked himself. He's screwed. He is not winning this case. Basically, the defense, I think Ivanka testifies tomorrow, and then the prosecution's going to rest. And then the defense can make whatever case they're going to make. And they're probably just going to bring up people just to stall as long as they can. But they're not going to be able to stall for more than a couple weeks. And then basically they're going to rest their case. And the judge, I bet you, I mean, any judge at this point he's probably made his mind up already. He's probably written his judgment already. He's just waiting for some more this or that. He'll add some stuff in later, but he's probably got this thing sitting on his computer ready to print and ready to go. I mean, any judge worth half their salt would already have this done. He's screwed. Everybody knows it. But we still got to play to the camera on the TV because he's running for president. That's what this is. That's why this Fox is playing this whole thing. We're watching it on Fox. Because they're playing to Trump's base, who thinks that he's winning, thinks that he's the victim, thinks that he's being attacked. And she's placating to that shit. This is what she's getting paid for, not for actually defending him in court. Because there is no defense.
Well, quite frankly, I mean, if he was paying her to defend him in court or represent him in court in any way, he's like literally flushing his money down the toilet. I mean, she can't even check a damn box.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is I don't think he probably wouldn't have gotten a jury trial anyway. I don't think they allow them in New York for these kind of cases for the most part. But that was her excuse, is he wouldn't have gotten a jury trial anyway. And it's like, yeah, but you still didn't ask. So you can't say for sure, right? Because you're an idiot.
Closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Right.
Like, yeah.
Anyway,
I rarely got her law degree from a Cracker Jack box.
Literally, yeah. I just want to get to one more line that she has here in a minute. It's just fucking...
They need to say to protect their clients' interests. It doesn't matter what your politics are. Everyone has a right in this country to get up and put a defense. I don't care who you are. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can put objections on the record. You have a right to hire a lawyer who can stand up and say something when they see something wrong. But I was told to sit down today. I was yelled at, and I've had a judge who is unhinged slamming a table. Let me be very clear. I don't talk.
I had a judge, and he yelled at me because I was out of order in court. And it's not, what a fucking crybaby. A judge yelled at you? I'm sorry. Have you ever been to court before?
And even if you haven't, viewers, if you've watched enough Judge Judy, you know.
Well,
Sometimes they got things to say.
Well, she's over the top. But when you have a client,
Over the top.
yeah, when you have a client who's going off for 20 minutes not answering the question, and the judge says, no, it's a yes or no question, answer the question, and the guy just keeps going off, right? And then his attorney gets up, or Alina Habba in this case, and says, well, you have to listen to everything he says. And the judge corrects her, goes, no, he's here to answer questions, not give a speech. If you want to let him give a speech, that's fine. But do it when you're cross-examining. Which is what's so funny is she gets up there and cries about how mean the judge was and wouldn't let him speak. And then when she had the opportunity to get up there and cross-examine and give him a chance to speak, she passed. She didn't cross-examine. So it's all fucking bullshit. It's just a show. It's just a show for the dupes who, see, Trump's the victim. That's all it is.
They were mean to him. Right.
I mean, I don't know whether they thought you up on it, but that's all it is. Did you have any further thoughts on that, or? Well, he's cooked in that one. I mean, he's. I think he's cooked in pretty much all these. But this is the one that he's scared about because this is all of his money. Because if they get what,
scared, he should definitely be scared.
Yeah, because if Letitia James gets what she asked for, which was $250 million, he doesn't have it. They're going to start seizing his properties and selling them. And you know how that goes when you have to. The court seizes properties and sells them. They sell them for whatever they can get for them.
Right. I mean, if there are loans against them, banks are going to do everything, in their power to make sure that it basically, like, the bids will start at whatever the debt is on it so that can get satisfied. But beyond that, it's like they don't care, like they're not trying to get the highest price. They'll just basically start it at whatever the debt level is.
They're just trying to close the case at that point.
Right.
And he's not going to be able to practice in New York anymore. He's probably not going to be able to practice most other places because if you've had your business license banned in New York, especially New York of all places, why would any other state want to let you incorporate? And especially over fraud. I mean,
they're like,
yeah.
Oh, what'd you do over there?
Oh, yeah, you were found guilty of fraud. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what we want. You opening a real estate company in my state. Right.
Right.
Okay. Well.